repeat what you were saying about it was something about the feelings.
The feelings?
The feelings.
Your feelings?
And the truth.
Okay, so people's feelings and their emotions are, and like opinions.
Yeah.
They can change.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll claim that things are the truth based off of their feelings or their opinions. But they're not. Those can change as well. Does that make sense?
It does.
You just listen to the podcast again.
The Speak in Code podcast. And now introducing Code, Conspiracy of a Dead Man.
Over 100 people dead.
Chente, the homie. Servant with a noble cause. And Teddy Bear Dynamite. These are the hosts of the Speak in Code podcast.
Much love, everybody. Definitely, man. Thanks for jumping on with us. We're finally getting to. So, what do you want to talk about? Oh, can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
We never did a mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
This is MC Dynamite on the mic.
We're gonna have to do new entrances every time. Like, not every time, but like we gotta have like special occasion ones. I think.
Yeah.
So. Maybe like a one fighter one or like a wrestler, like come into the ring, and then it's just like.
Because like sometimes stuff just pops up, so it just works.
Or your Chippendales one.
The chipping.
After your honey chubus.
The honey chubus. The honey chubus. I'm still in that.
What's a honey chubus?
I don't want to know. Sounds like
honey
I feel like that's the little girl that like was on that TV show.
Honey boo boo.
No.
Oh yeah, we gotta change the name.
Honey chubus.
I'm just joking.
Got them honey chubus.
Gotta start selling the dynamite rolls. So we mix the honey back, the magic 9, and the
You
beach
get
ball
that dynamite
together.
stick.
Yeah. Well, we're one short today. Chente couldn't make it. We had to switch some stuff around last minute, but he'll be in the next ones for sure.
Or we will find you, Chente, and you will acknowledge us.
The camera's over there or there. I'll have to splice that one in too.
Get to the hard
If I
candy.
could remember. Get to the hard candy.
The hard cam.
Oh.
That one camera, like they always turn their face. The
I
hard
just said
cam.
get to the hard candy. I was like, oh, okay.
That's what I tell them.
Oh no.
Yeah, get to the center of that Tootsie Pop.
So, you guys got any current events that you've been hearing anything about lately?
Oh, the falling skies overseas. I mean, the falling stars overseas that are actually missiles.
Falling stars.
Yeah, you haven't seen the shooting stars, but that are actually missiles.
Oh no.
Yeah, people have been making TikToks of like the missiles falling, but they've been like edited them so they look like shooting stars and added music to them because people are buttholes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I didn't know there was like a meteor shower. And I'm like, then I realized it's like somebody was on the balcony when missiles started falling, recorded it, and then edited to make it. And I'm like, people are dying, and then you're making TikTok videos to up your numbers.
Yeah. Well, on a nicer note. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, that's okay. It's okay. I'll probably show you guys videos from my phone since I didn't bring the screen out. I don't know.
You seem kind of stressed.
I got 2 dogs. One just passed away, and then the other one. Yeah. But the other one, she's been great all day until recently, where she's like, as I'm trying to get stuff ready, I'm stepping in pee, and then I go downstairs to get something, and I'm stepping in pee, and then I'll go to grab something else, and she shoots something else up downstairs, and I'm just like, I'm scared of a dog. She's
Kind of makes it hard to focus.
Yeah, she's cool. She's in the puppy stage. Yeah, it's like the terrible twos until she's probably 3 years old. Oh, she's not chewing on my couch. No, but no, it's been good though. Just been chilling for the most part. Had a happy Thanksgiving. I was very thankful, very grateful for all the people that were there and all the people that I didn't get to spend the time with. That spending time with some of them now.
Thank you. I did be spending time with you guys too. Wait, hold on. Did I do the part?
I don't know. I think you did Diamond Dallas Page.
It's me. It's me. It's TDB.
No, that's dyslexic.
Yeah, I did that wrong.
TBD.
Television direct. Website. I'm just kidding.
Sometimes we're all a little loopy.
Yes.
You know what they helped with that though? Our new sponsor.
No, we'll dive into it later. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a tease. We can't just jump right into it. We're gonna be going for 4 minutes. You're like, it feels longer.
That's
Since
what
I
hope
picked
she
you up
said.
at 3 o'clock. Oh, since I picked you up at 3 o'clock and we're like waiting. Like, oh, I'm kidding. No.
Oh, I thought
I
I
was
was
kidding.
still.
I was eating at 6:30, I think.
Yeah, I'm still at my grandma's at 3.
Nice. But did you have a fun Thanksgiving?
Yes, I did. Had Thanksgiving in my house, Thanksgiving at my brother's house. So it was just me and my brother, then me and my other brother, his wife, her grandparents, you know, just a little.
Can't deny.
Yeah. Then my nephew, you know, he's only got 2 teeth, but he was deciding he wants real food, and so
Oh.
we were giving him little bits of stuff, but we weren't doing it fast enough because, like, the Incredible Hulk was coming out, little boy. He ate a piece, and then no one was feeding him. He was, hey,
That's
here's
so
another piece of turkey, and like had to like tear little chunks and give them to him.
Yeah.
And then he's like grabbing it caveman style. Like, okay.
It sounds like my sister when she's hangry. But can you touch on that at all?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't really want to blow it. I actually want to do it.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I don't want somebody to catch it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. we can wait.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I think I definitely want to do that.
No.
Do that with her.
No,
for
that's
sure.
perfect.
And I think it'll. Yeah, I'll talk to you off camera about that.
Okay.
Ted, sorry. Teddy.
I'm just kidding.
Teddy.
Teddy bear lightning.
Teddy bear.
Teddy bear lightning.
It's lightning bear and teddy bear dynamite, the new tag team champions of the world.
Ooh, lightning.
I called him lightning bear.
Lightning. Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yes.
Lightning and thunder.
Lightning and thunder.
And the dynamite is going to crack.
Boom. You know.
Boom, shot, boom goes the dynamite. And then there's a shout out and a pun for, what do we call him? Shaboom? No.
Little kaboom.
No.
Is that about my brother? He was on?
Laugh.
Laugh, yeah.
Yeah. We just used his initials.
Little boom.
Yeah, he kept saying, kaboom, I'm, and we're like, nah, you're
He's trying to
doing
steal
this
my
much.
gimmick. Oh.
Yeah, quit stealing his
Gimmick and
thunder. No.
Here's a cease and desist right there.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, hey, taking you to court.
We should copyright our aliases.
Oh,
Just in case.
Trademark them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too. like, y'all know the legal jargon. I'm just making it up.
yeah.
Oh no. But it's just it's a different scenario with that.
Yeah. All you gotta put is like a little C with a circle around it next to your name and you're
The
good.
team.
Oh, it's, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the R with a circle.
There was a guy that did that, what is his name? Emperor Status. You know Emperor Status?
I don't believe I do.
He like creates people in like the video games and stuff, like the wrestling games. And he got banned because he was like linking other people's. Sure. She has a bowl over there with tons of water. She goes right between all the wires. She knows what she's doing. She's like one of my other sisters. You're like, you're doing it on purpose. And she's like, I don't need to. You go, you're doing it on purpose. We'll wait. Just keep going. Oh no, you're just gonna walk all around everything and turn it off. I think it's fine now. Okay.
We'll be back after these.
Yeah.
multiple-
Oh my gosh. I can just feel the tenseness. No. No, so, but,
Ooh,
oh, so we were playing this game at Thanksgiving last night,
okay.
and it's called Where Word.
Oh man.
Where?
It was great.
Yes, it was fun.
Elaborate.
So, alright.
It's like-
explain. Oh, you
I was gonna say it's like werewolf plus like guess the word or whatever one of those guess the word games is.
I don't know what werewolf is.
Werewolf is the game that it's like mole or or
See, I never played that either.
Mafia.
I never played that.
So werewolf is like there's villagers, and then there's a mayor, and then there's a werewolf,
And a seer.
but there's no guessing a word. No, this is the seer. That's all added into the werewolves game.
Oh.
Werewolf just has the villagers, a mayor, and a werewolf.
Okay.
And this game had a seer, a mayor, villagers, and a werewolf, or werewolves. And
We just did one because it was too hard to even try to think of two other people. They're
Gotcha.
trying to mess you all up.
So their goal is to like trick you into thinking someone else is the werewolf.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the game, and you can play with your phone. So your phone has an app, and then you can select like time. There's a timer on there, and then it has like who's who, and it picks the word for you.
yeah,
Or you can pick the word. So like you can pick easy, medium, hard, or ridiculous, right? Redonkulous for the words, and they can be harder and just more difficult words to be able to explain to people.
Okay.
Or to figure out. So then, like say for example, we have a table of like 7 people, right? And you get all these cards, and the cards say either villager, werewolf, mayor, or seer.
Okay.
So then you pass them all around, and then you just look at your card, figure out what you are. If you're the mayor, you say, "Hey, I'm the mayor," and they give you like a little box with all these chips in it, and the chips are kind of like small little cardboard poker chips. And like one side has like a green check mark, and the other side has like a red check mark, and then there's blue question marks in there, and then there's like a couple other things and like a big yellow chip for like correct word.
Okay.
So, for example, then what I do is it tells everybody to close their eyes, and then while everybody closes their eyes, it says, "But the mayor, open your eyes." The mayor opens his eyes, looks or hers eyes, looks at the timer, and selects that they're a villager or a werewolf or a seer too. Usually we were making it so the mayor was always a villager because the mayor can't talk.
Gotcha.
So the mayor can't talk at all. So you have to ask questions to figure out a word that he picks. So like say for example, mine was like popsicle yesterday, one of my words. So I selected popsicle and I put it out there, and then it says, "Mayor, close your eyes." So everybody still has their eyes closed. The mayor closes their eyes. It says, "Seer, open your eyes." So the seer opens his eyes, looks at the word. Then it says, "Seer, close your eyes." Then it says, "Werewolf, open your eyes." The werewolf looks at the word and knows the word too. So the werewolf, the seer, and the mayor all know the words, and all the villagers don't.
Okay.
The seer's job is to help guess the word correctly without giving up too much information, because then in the werewolf's job is to try to get people off the scent of that word.
Yeah.
So like popsicle, if I'm like, if I'm like, okay, it's gonna be cold, or so you're like, okay, it's cold, and or is it a person, place, or thing? You could try to get that. Well, you only have so many chips,
Okay.
so you can only get so many questions. It's almost like 21 questions.
Okay.
Like once everybody starts getting questions, you're like, no, 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 and you're like, oh my gosh, we're already out of chips. Then if you run out of chips or you run out of time before the word is guessed, then you have then the werewolf wins. Then the werewolf has a chance, like 10 seconds, to guess who he thinks that the seer is.
Okay.
And then I don't even know if we did like a point system at all. It was just more fun. But now if you were like, if everybody guessed the word, then you have, they say the werewolf lost, right?
Yeah, the werewolf lost.
The werewolf lost. So you're like, who's the werewolf? The werewolf flips the card, and then
Now the werewolf has to pick the seer.
Yeah.
Technically, if you, I'm pretty sure we played it wrong a little bit, because I think when the werewolf loses, we win, and he doesn't have an opportunity. No, when the werewolf loses, they have an opportunity to pick the seer to get their win back.
Mhm.
But I think if the werewolf, or if we lose and the werewolf wins, the werewolf doesn't pick the seer. We have to pick the werewolf. We have
Yes.
to find who the werewolf
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's right. So it was fun. I mean, the first few games, it was like, this is ridiculously
But it
stupid.
got great.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was very competitive, especially with I would say
Man.
2 people that were there specifically. And then like, there's another game we used to play too called like Chameleon, where like you would try to, everybody knew the word except for one person.
Oh, okay.
So you would go around the table giving one word clues of the word without giving the word. And if you were like ocean, and you knew the topic was movie,
Okay.
but you didn't know which movie, right? Is that how that would be? You wouldn't know which movie, and if you were like ocean, seashell,
Yeah.
like lobster, seagull, what would you think the movie would be?
Little Mermaid.
Mm-hmm. So it would be like me trying. So say you didn't know the word,
Okay.
but you'd be like, "Oh, I know it. I know it for sure," because they gave too many clues.
Clues. God.
So you want to kind of be a little subtle, but if you're not, if you're too subtle, then you might think that the person's like say you did know it was Little Mermaid, we would be like, you didn't know it because they said this, this, and this. That's the only reason why you knew. But like he just guessed like out of nowhere. Maybe he was the person that wasn't familiar.
Okay.
You know, he just like guessed right. Like just said something like sometimes like the chameleon would be like the next person in line, or like the first person in line, and they're like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
So then they just make something up, and sometimes you're like, oh, they're definitely the chameleon. But then other times they're good at it, and they just luck of the draw, they guess the right thing. You know.
Okay.
You want to pray that you're not the first person who has to list something when you're a chameleon. It is rough.
Yeah.
I can imagine that.
Yeah, it's fun though. I think it'd be kind of cool if we did like a conspiracy version.
Oh, that'd be fun.
But it would have to be like basic conspiracies, you know, like if you did
Yeah.
something like chemtrails
Yeah.
or something like the Mandela effect would be kind of hard because then you would
There's
be
so
having,
many.
yeah. Well, what would
It'd
you
probably be easy.
would you name like Berenstain? Like that would be an easy one. But if you were like Bear, what the heck?
Mayor.
Mayor?
Cereal.
Or just
Oh
family.
yeah.
Because I was, like you said Bear, so like Mayor, because Oscar Mayer.
Oh.
So like, if you name like a specific thing in a
Yeah.
Mandela effect, or a Mandela effect, so
Yep. Or if you're like Genie.
Shazam.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever see that movie?
Shazam?
Did you ever
No, I
hear
saw
about it?
Kazam with Shaq.
Okay, because
But Shazam, they say Shazam was Sinbad.
Yeah.
But there was a commercial with something like that when we were kids, but it was never really
So they did a spin on that with, I think it was
even Sinbad came out and was like, I've never been in something called Shazam.
I know he said that, but he came out and did a remake version as like a joke to people.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, that's where people are like I don't know if it was like an SNL thing or like he just did his own thing, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Was there a movie or something where he was a genie though?
I don't remember one. There was
Shazam?
he was a cowboy. Well, she said Shazam. But
Who says Shazam?
you just said Shazam now.
You said she, I'm not a she, I'm a he.
Oh.
I identify as a man. I'm a real boy.
I'm down. Or
You gotta be
something.
careful.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Well, you could be trans. It's not backwards.
Oh.
My nephew has been doing
I'm
it.
dyslexic.
His mom gets irritated by it. He goes, "You guys are just mad because I'm trans." But he's very intelligent. He skipped him a grade because of how smart he is.
Oh wow.
So he's like, once he's supposed to be in 4th grade, he's in 5th grade.
Oh,
They
geez.
jumped him ahead of grade.
Grade
He's on
But
6.
yeah,
No.
and then the first time he said it, we all looked at him. He goes, "What?" I'm just saying I'm smart backwards. And then I'm sitting there like, "What?" And then I'm spelling it out. SMART. Trans. Oh, okay. So he's trans.
That's interesting.
But like,
Smart kid.
yeah.
he knows. He does. I don't think he knows why it irritates his mom when he says it, but he knows it irritates her.
Yeah.
So he says it more because he first started saying it just to show he was smart. You know, oh, I'm trans because I'm smart. But then his mom gets irritated, like, don't be saying that. Don't go around telling people that. But he knows it irritates you. And he's even admitted. He goes, I only say it because you don't like it.
Oh my gosh, that's
You-
funny.
You don't want to make it to your 8th grade. Well,
What was the other? Oh, the other thing was like
That was beautiful.
you were going that beans, grains, tomatoes, but he was doing it with everybody's name that was sitting around the table, and it almost rhymed perfectly. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see.
It went really well. It's like, hey,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
But you mentioned the Mandela effect.
yes, okay, so
That's good.
and I'll play the video for you guys too. I mean, on like I'll add it and put it in the actual video and stuff too.
The
But
description is in the bio.
here's hopefully this is what I think the Mandela effect is. This is where I feel like not 100%, of course, but
This is what you think the Mandela effect is?
yeah.
Question what quietly went away without anyone noticing. Question: what quietly went away without anyone noticing? Ownership. We used to pay money and then the thing actually belonged to us. Now everything is sold as a service. Music as a service, movies as a service. We spend and we hold nothing in our hands. This got my wheels turning. I want to talk about it. So at face value, it reminds me of a time when we would buy CDs, DVDs. We could watch or listen to it whenever we wanted. Today, if a movie or song gets removed from all platforms, there could literally be no official way to access it. What it got me thinking about was the future of the public record and who is actually in control of it. Remember during the Super Bowl when Alicia Keys hit that bad note and the next day all the official media had the note fixed?
Some people want it all. Some people want it all.
If it weren't for people having their own archive, the official record is actually a lie. It's an intentional misrepresentation of what actually happened. And it's all fun and games when you're talking about just entertainment. But what happens with things that are more important? And I just think about the ripple effect of what this could mean longer term. Like, who is the controller of truth or of reality? I think that we're going to start to see fractures in having what you remember be different from what the public historical record is of that moment in time. So this concept of ownership for me is more about control over consumption. And as a result, global understanding of the truth. I'm mostly just thinking out loud, but I do think it could be a great basis for a case study or a thesis. I'm not going to write it, but one of y'all should, because I think there's a lot to unpack there. But what do you think about all this? Let me know.
So, on that note, because I took a picture of it. I screenshot some stuff.
Wow.
So during a certain time, I won't go too into detail, especially because my TikTok just got banned. But there were certain things where, like, I'm trying to think of what it was. Okay. During 2020,
Yes.
until more so recently, you would screenshot stuff because you're like, I'm gonna share this with people because this there's no way this is true. If it is true, I definitely need to show more people that this, so you would share it on social media and it would get removed, on Twitter, X or whatever. It was Twitter back then, Instagram, like all these different places, Snapchat, TikTok, all this stuff. So then people started screenshotting things and I started screen recording. I started screenshotting things. And then I'd be like, I swear I'm not lying to you. I would be in the middle of telling somebody this, breaking it all down for them. And I would go, look, I even screenshot it on my phone and I recorded it on my phone. I would go to look and it would be deleted. It wouldn't be deleted. It would be a corrupted file. It would be all grayed out with an exclamation point.
Really?
Yes. And I was like, I can't even back it up on my computer now. So then what I would start doing was as soon as I would save it, I would try to hurry up and back it up to my computer or a hard drive, just so I didn't look like a clown spreading misinformation. Because I'm like, I'm telling you guys, I saw this with my own eyes. Yeah. But then it was changing the history, changing the narrative, changing the directive, changing all of these things where now when the person actually believes something, you believe it, but then you don't even believe your own eyes. Mm-hmm. You don't even believe your own ears because you're like, I swear I heard this. Maybe I was sleeping and somebody had a video on playing in the background and I subconsciously misheard it, and it's like, you're not mishearing things. You're not misseeing things. You're not misunderstanding things. These things were put out there to get everybody to latch on. But as soon as they went to grasp it and pull back the curtain, the things started getting moved or deleted or removed, so that's what I think the Mandela effect is, me personally.
I can get behind that though, because
Then what does that make what we are in then?
We are not on a different timeline. It's not the Mandela effect like that. That's what I think. I don't think that we are on a totally different timeline. I don't think we're going on a different trajectory. I think that our life is normal. You know how they say that the history is written by the victors? Mm-hmm. No. History is written by whoever can change it.
But then who would that be?
The victors at the moment. The people in charge, in control at the moment. Because
be the victors though.
No. It changes over time. The people that are won back in the the Roman era aren't the same people today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but so there's new victors. So it's always the victor.
Well, but it's I don't think that they're victorious of anything. I think they're leeches. I think they latch onto stuff and they go, you know what? Let's be parasitic. Let's be the people. Let's be the gremlins that change stuff. You know, let's add a little bit of turmoil to these people. Let's see what happens, and let's see if they even notice. And they do it with the brands first. There was a girl. She was like, "Oh, I swear there was a cornucopia on the Fruit of the Loom,"
It was.
and she went through her closet and found one.
See?
And it's like we're getting lied to that things are changing, and they're trying to get. It's more for a divide. It's more for a thing for us not to agree, or it's for us not to unite on. We can't even unite on our own memories.
What if?
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Now, as you're going into this
Yes.
is something that I'm hearing a lot of in different kinds of communities now. What if we're in the midst of what is a shift where we are like the universe or the world that we live in is starting to splinter off into two separate understandings of what the world really is.
100%. I
And
think
then
that
maybe the group that's going along with whatever is just going along with that frequency or vibration, and that's the world they're slowly moving into. And then the other group is going into their vibration or their energy, and they're moving into whatever world they're moving into till eventually these two worlds no longer even intersect with each other
and
anymore.
you know what the split is? It's algorithms. Your algorithm lies to you. Your algorithm is it's what you look into first. It doesn't matter if you look into something that's going to be good or bad. You're going to come up against things that you're going to be looking at something. Let's just look at politics for a second. You pull up one thing, you go, "Oh, I really like this guy." The other person, they go, "Well, I heard this guy did this." And then all of a sudden their phone hears. And then their phone starts sending them other things that the guy said. And then you go, "Wait, but he didn't say that. I heard it this way." And they go, "Well, you misunderstood." You're like, "What do you mean I misunderstood?" It's like, "No, he said this. He really did say this. I did hear this." Because that's what they heard in the clip that they saw. The clip that they saw was taken out of context. The person that this person saw, they might not have seen the entire video. So it's like, they might.
Perspectives.
100%. And
Which
it's
is
like,
the big thing.
and it's weird because like you mentioned one day, you're like, your truth.
Yes.
And it's like, I understand when people say your truth more so now than before, because before I was like, no, there's the truth. But then it's like, that's where I feel like the truth can be
Subjective.
subjective. But then that's the difference with the gospel. The gospel is that the definition of the gospel is absolute truth.
Is the truth. Yeah.
Yes. Where everybody's like, "Oh, that's my truth. That's your truth." And it's like
one objective truth.
Yeah, where it shouldn't be your truth and my truth. It should be my perspective and your perspective.
Mhm.
That's just what I think. And I'm not trying to like.
No, I can understand. Like sometimes we get to semantics with the naming of things, which is why perspective and truth. Because some people like to say my truth because like this is the view, the perspective I saw it from. So for them, this is their truth.
Yes.
But again, we get caught up in words so much that we lose sight of the real focus.
I think what that is though is in philosophy, it's perspective is boiled down into truths because you have the big T, tall T, which is the objective truth that everyone must acknowledge and understand that this is the truth we all share, and then everybody has the small T, which is a subjective truth, which means my truth comes through the frame of reference that I'm seeing or experiencing. So it is truly all a perspective, and I think just people use semantics to have different words to mean different things, like you said.
And could you say that last part that you said? You said it takes somebody's what? Not perspective, but like if you're trying to get something, it's like you lose like.
What did I say?
It's not
Focus.
Focus. That's it. You know when you start to forget what you're saying. You know what helps perfectly.
What could help?
I heard about this stuff called Magic Mind. They gave this to us, and they also gave us. It helps with a sharper mind. It lowers stress, and it's a calm energy, so you don't get the jitters and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it's
But,
12 magical ingredients. That's awesome.
You guys want to try it?
Oh yeah, for
Let's give it
sure.
a shot. Let's see how
Oh.
this works.
Pun intended or no pun intended? Give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
I like that.
Yeah.
Mental performance shot.
All right, we're gonna shoot it though. I don't know. Well,
Yeah. Ooh.
Mm.
Ooh, that's very good.
It's like a passion fruit.
Yeah, there.
Something.
That tastes kind of like a hint of pineapple, though.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's way better than that.
Man, this is good.
I thought it was gonna taste like spinach.
Look, I'm not even gonna lie.
That's I was.
Yeah.
I was
green. And I'm like, is this one of them like
Oh,
those
yeah.
smoothie things? But like,
It's
no,
kind of got floral notes.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
it does.
yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Was it
Man, oh man, it tastes. So I don't even know how to explain how
Passion
good
fruit.
this tastes.
There's passion fruit in
There's
here,
passion fruit.
but it does taste like pineapple. I have hints of pineapple for sure.
Oh, for sure.
It's matcha green tea, so it's got that natural energy boost.
That
there's-
matcha is what I'm tasting.
Oh, yeah.
Matcha has this like
Chalky,
a chalky aftertaste.
but it doesn't taste like a pre-work or like a protein powder chalkiness.
No.
And the great thing about it is this is 55 milligrams of caffeine, so that's like awesome. You could take one of these, start your day off, or if you're like
Yeah.
feeling a little down, like you could take it to get yourself moving again. You know?
And my favorite thing is the lion's mane and the cordyceps.
Oh yeah.
Those I love the mushrooms and stuff like that. And then the L-theanine is that calming focus. You're not gonna have that,
This
but
is awesome.
they hooked us up, man. They gave us a promo code. It's it's not SpeakInCOAD. Can't even talk now. I will be able to talk as soon as this hits me in.
www.magicmind.com/speaking-code
BF.
BF for
Yep.
Black Friday, right?
Yep, and you get 50% off of
50% off. That's awesome.
any purchase you do. So yeah, this stuff is
How
good,
long does
man.
that deal last?
December 6th.
Wow.
Now,
Yeah.
okay, the people that watch us get 50% off. What do we get off?
We get 50% off if you use our promo code.
Yeah.
I'll buy some. I'll hook you up. Don't worry. It'll be my little Christmas gift to
We
you.
gotta get
You're
some.
always buying stuff.
Okay.
This is great.
Do they come in other flavors or is all one flavor?
Nope, just one flavor.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
even think you need the flavor
No,
right
no,
now
I don't think
because
so
this
either.
is so good. I'm looking forward to seeing what the results like with the like how you feel after these ingredients take hold. You know.
You
Yeah.
want to see if it helps you reclaim your
Yeah.
And that offer is only available through my link or our link until December 6th. It's magicmind.com/speakincode BF.
Dude, it's got ashwagandha.
And yeah, we'll put a link in the description and we'll put a link on the video.
Why
Oh,
does
yeah.
ashwagandha sound familiar?
Oh man.
It helps with yeah.
Oh, so you can give them that, so they can get that good old dynamite.
Yeah, that dynamite stick. No.
Yeah, so if you get a chance to try it, man, take a sip of Magic Mind. These shots are amazing so far. Looking
I like
forward
it.
to this.
And then it should kick in. I don't know. Oh, it will kick in during the episode for sure.
Absolutely. This is
maybe
awesome.
maybe that calm energy will help with the training of the dog and all the.
Yeah, I'm more relaxed already. I'm already relaxed. She's sleeping. I gave her some. No, I'm kidding. I didn't give my dog Magic Mind. I mean, I don't think she would need it.
You're doing animal testing?
No.
How could you?
Yeah.
It's kosher. Ooh,
Yeah.
nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I like it. I like it a lot. But I was gonna mention to you guys too with that text.
Dude, that scared me.
Oh, that good old vitamin D is.
I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of scary.
What's scary?
And
Oh, but sorry. I was
Yeah.
still
How if you? I don't know. It's scary. It's scary to
Yeah.
me how we live in a world that seems like it can be edited just like we can edit articles on a
Mhm.
computer or something like that. Man.
that's where and this guy he goes, if buying isn't owning, piracy isn't stealing.
Exactly. That's the
And I
truth.
said, this is the best comment. It makes so much sense. I was like, I never thought about it this way. I was like, plus when you create something with AI, it pulls from other people's content to
Yes.
create its
So it's-
own, isn't conspired or considered stealing either, right?
For me, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
No, go ahead.
I was
I'm
gonna-
still pulling the frosting.
I was going to say this.
They're coming.
Typically, when I research stuff like this and I look into things and I see where's this, I try to go back to the starting point or try to figure out where the end result is. And I see to myself, there's been a large investment made in changing things using AI. creating things using AI. So
Mhm.
essentially removing the ability for humans to be able to create moving forward, or removing the desire for you to want to create. Because think about it, once you have this thing that'll create for you, what's the purpose of you even creating anymore? You're like,
Yeah.
I'm good, I could just use this thing now and it does it for me.
Mhm.
It scares me to think that, like, somebody had a desired interest into creating these things as one of the first things that we could create that would be this big giant movement with AI.
Mhm.
Think about it. It's like you have all of these things that AI could potentially do, but what you seek to do is to change the way things are perceived, to change the videos of things, or to create videos that aren't real, or to create deep fakes and stuff. It's weird when you think about it. That's a major, massive investment that's been placed into something. And it kind of, if you think back, like, who is that benefiting?
Yeah.
Because corporations, that's cool. Corporations are now starting to run with it, but there was a vested interest in our military industrial complex that put an investment into that first.
Mhm.
And then when it got to the open sector and the private sector, now we know what's going on with it.
And I also said that this is what the so-called Mandela effect is. They try to say we are misremembering, but they're changing it to make us disagree with our own memories so we can't unify. I said that
That
6 days ago.
That, or it could, I mean, there's been a large increase in like dementia cases and a lot of Alzheimer's and stuff. Like, what if these things are like helping to factor into those things? Like helping to, fuel people's acceleration into this like dementia, or fuel people's minds into this concept of where we can essentially make you mush brained.
Mhm.
And then once you're mush brained, we can put you in this position or this thing and have you do this forever and not have to worry about it.
I
Yeah.
agree with that, because when you think about like the medical field, they push, like, we do need mental health. We do
Oh
need
yeah,
psychiatrists.
absolutely.
Sometimes we do need medication,
Mhm.
but now they push mental health and medication more.
Hard.
So now you're afraid you're going to get dementia.
Mhm.
You're afraid you're going to get Alzheimer's.
Oh yeah.
So now you're going and you're taking different medicines.
Mm-hmm.
you're
That are all
taking-
contributing probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You're taking these medicines from big pharmaceutical companies. So now if you think, oh man, I'm not remembering things like I should remember things,
Mhm.
because this is Berenstein's, I've been thinking it's Berenstein's, or it's Oscar Mayer, not Oscar Mayer.
Mhm.
And like, other people are seeing it as the Mandela effect, or whatever you want to call it. Some person that just off in their own little corner are thinking they're going crazy.
Mhm.
Now they're going to a doctor who's getting extra check for every prescription he writes for whatever medicine is supposed to help your memory. But some of those medicines, the side effects is memory loss,
Yeah.
is hallucinations,
Mhm.
which is nothing. Why are you giving me a medication that causes what I'm taking the medication for?
To ensure that you really have it.
Yeah.
And it's almost like we're going to ensure that you have it now, because if you claim that you have it, I'm going to make sure you have it now.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're on the computer right now. Could you do me a favor
Mhm.
and look up? I think it was David Rothschild, who's like they consider the father of pharmaceutical medicine. He, from what I understand, if you can find it here, is if I had my computer, I would look it up. But he was this massive oil guy who was made massive investments in oil and helped to create Ohio Gas and all these different companies that came together that literally our country decided, hey, you're the first monopoly, we're going to start breaking you up.
Okay.
One of the byproducts of the oil industry was this thing that they now use in damn near all pharmaceutical medicines.
Mhm.
Pharmaceutical medicines are like byproducts of the oil industry.
Yeah, and it says David Rothschild is not considered the father of medicine. However, the Rothschild family has a long history of supporting medicine research and services. I think what they did too was back in the day, they started funding colleges and stuff, like
Mhm.
Ivy League colleges. And then they would say, hey, we want you to push our doctrine,
Mm-hmm.
like an indoctrination. So
Yeah.
they would say, push our doctrine or we won't fund you.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to push their science. They had to push their different economics. They had to push their medicine, especially with
Mhm.
doctors and schools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The other thing, before we jump over to the next topic, or before we move too far ahead, you were talking about deep fakes.
Yeah.
So deep fakes aren't disinformation because they're just put a different face on somebody else talking. So that way you think that person's talking, which they're not.
But I'm sorry.
So-
I didn't mean to-
They created a thing called cheat fakes.
Cheat fakes.
And what that is they take a politician or they take somebody and they clip it. So they take part of it out at the beginning and they take part of it out at the end. So they only get them saying what they need them to say. And then they run that as like a political adversary ad saying like, look, this guy's going to do this or she's going to do this. And it's not a deep fake. It's their real face. It's really them talking. They can't see that it's AI changed anything because they didn't, but they take it out of context and then they start pushing that in commercials and stuff saying that these people said things this way, but it's actually taken out of context. So like those are, be prepared. Those are going to be used a lot more than what we thought the deep fakes were going to be used.
I think it'll probably advance. I think because AI is getting to the point where it could literally fabricate like some meshes and like it can create things inside of videos and stuff that look like people's real skin pores when they back out of the camera. Like it looks like it's a real human face. And I think that eventually we're going to get to a point where they can type into a computer, hey, have so-and-so president or so-and-so whatever, have a video of them getting busted by police in a room with a child or whatever, or put them in this type of situation or whatever, and then they start spreading that all over the internet like this is a real thing that genuinely happened when it really didn't happen.
Wow. And then, so Harambe? Do you remember Harambe? They said, what? And they showed like Harambe in an entire timeline. And it was like, look at the timeline that happened after Harambe. That's all the things that happened with our timeline, supposedly.
So they killed him and they sent us on a spiral.
And then they said after they killed Peanut, it fixed the spiral. It fixed it.
That's funny.
The Peanut, the squirrel, not a person or a dog or anything.
Yeah.
And then
I kept hearing about that squirrel. I never saw the videos, but I'm like, why is everybody over this squirrel?
They're justice for Peanut. I'm like,
Yeah. So the whole thing, I guess, was, and I don't know too much about it. This guy had a ton of videos and stuff on YouTube. He had a pet squirrel, and I think he had a little pet raccoon.
Okay.
But he would have like the squirrel eat out of his hand. He would have it like jump. It lived with him, and I think in New York. Well, the feds came to his house, and they said that the squirrel and the raccoon might have rabies. That we need to get him, and he was like, no. So they raided his house and killed the squirrel and the raccoon. And you're like, you're worried about this, but you're not worried about other political issues that you should be.
But what made them think that his squirrel and raccoon all of a sudden had rabies?
They just want to be in control. They want to make it so you can enjoy your life.
And we have a constitution.
You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. That's pretty much.
But the thing is we here in America have a constitution that's supposed to protect our rights to like illegal searches and seizures, and that was an illegal search and seizure. They can't go into that man's house if he did not give them permission. They don't have a warrant, even regardless if it's like a scary animal or if somebody's doing something weird. And
or if they did have a warrant,
right? If
they might have, but they're like, why? Really? You're worried about that? Let the guy get freaking rabies. Like, who cares?
Right.
I don't care if the guy gets rabies. Just let him enjoy his life with his own little squirrel and raccoon.
I think the reason why they'll justify it is because once he gets rabies, then it becomes like an issue for more than just him.
Yeah, but it's not like a normal disease where you're like, oh, it's an airborne. It's like, he's just going to die.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to not be able to drink water, and he's going to be deathly afraid of water, and then he would pass away. But here's another Mandela effect thing that I thought was interesting. What's that?
I was messing around and says, this is the bowling.
The purge of television culture has begun. This should make you nervous, if not.
The purge of television culture has begun. This should make you nervous, if not make your blood boil. Paramount's extreme cost-cutting measures have now erased everything of the MTV website. This seems to be some type of effort to save money. Basically, overnight, they wiped out over 30 years of news archives of music, history, and culture. Completely erased, obliterated from their website. Somebody upstairs decided just to pull the cord and say, we don't need this anymore. MTV used to be owned by Viacom, now it's owned by Paramount. Paramount has been in free fall trying to pay down their debts. They're even talking about selling the iconic Paramount lot in Hollywood just to pay down their debt. But the crazy bonanza to switch to streaming and all the corporate consolidation has resulted in these unprecedented knee-jerk reactions, and there are dire consequences because of this. All of MTV's news archives are gone. It's like it never existed. All of this material could have easily been handed over to the Library of Congress for safekeeping and cultural reference, but it was erased without any thought or consideration. It's now like MTV News has become the Sphinx of the modern era, and many years from now, there will be no cultural reference point or history or archives that historians can look into to understand more of the cultural significance of the 1980s and 1990s music era scene. So what's on the MTV site now? Well, it's a treasure trove of Teen Mom links, and of course, a link where you can download Paramount Plus.
The purge of television.
I think if people think that there's not a vested interest in this being done on purpose,
Yeah.
there's
The other thing too, they said that I don't know who said it. It might have been on the Mandela effect. Might have been a different timeline. I don't know. But they mentioned that our span of like all the craziness that has happened within like the last like let's even say 500 years in the history books later on in the future, people won't even like bat an eye at anything that's happened in any of these single little decades, let alone 40 years.
they won't care.
It won't. Well, not that they won't care, but it's the stuff that's going on today isn't worth saving.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm trying to think of how they explain it. Like it's not going to benefit anybody in the future because everything that's going to happen now, like they're going to be like, oh yeah, the phone was created. It's like, well, the phone was created in like what, the early 1900s?
Yeah.
They're going to be like, well, the camera was created in the early 1900s, but then they're going to be like, oh, well, you can do it all on your phone. Well, their phone's going to be the Neuralink.
Well, in college, one thing that you start learning about is that we live in what's called a postmodern society, which means that we have not created anything new. We recycle things, we remake things. Most things are people. They've lost the desire or the drive or whatever it is to continue to cultivate and bring new things into the world. That's why you see these incremental changes. Like, think about it. Apple could make a phone that we can have, or Android or whatever can make one phone that you could have for the rest of your life. It could stay charged somehow. There's ways for them to do it. But because they're making money on the incremental sale of things, they're never ever going to cultivate or make anything brand new. That's the type of world we live in. So that completely makes sense. Because why would you want to keep any of the stuff that's going on right now? It's just a recycled, refreshed, whatever of what has already been.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Thoughts and prayers.
Sorrows.
Yeah.
No, I kind of agree because you look at music. Like, people have sampled music for generations, but there are so many songs that like have just been made in the past 10 years that are already being sampled now. Like, it's different when somebody now samples something from like the 50s. It's like, okay, there's a great time span in between that. It's refreshing to remember.
Like hip hop, for example, like sampling stuff from the 60s, 50s, 60s,
But
70s.
that makes sense. Okay, that was like 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
But we have people that are sampling songs that were made in 2005.
Yeah.
Dude, that's where the AI stuff is crazy because you can get a song. Say you're like, I want a song like this. You can upload a song and say, I want to make a remix of this.
Yes.
And it will put its own little twist where it's not copyright. And then you're like, it could be like, he could come out with a song today. I could copy it and be like, make a remix of this. And it could come out with a remix of it today.
And again, no creativity behind it. It just took what already existed, made something new.
Yeah.
Like you said, no drive to make anything new.
Yeah.
Because like it'd be different if like, you know, like my mom listened to such and such from like the 1930s. I mean, I make my mom hella old, but but still. And so as an adult, I'm like, I still remember when my mom listened. But I would love like a new updated version or like a modern version, and then someone came out and made it. To me, that's new and creative because like I like took a little bit. But when you're only going like 5 years ago, and it's like, oh yeah, that beat sounds amazing. I'm going to use it today. Like, it's not like somebody reminiscing and paying homage. You're just being lazy. It's like, well, that worked for him, so it's going to work for me now.
Yep. And
again, like lack of creativity because we've been around on this planet for a long time. And we've had television for like how many years now?
Like 60, 70 years maybe.
And there's only like so much we can do and come up with that when you look, we're all watching the same shows over and over with a different name with different people
Yep.
doing the same scenarios.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at back in the day, like when, I mean, shoot, you could look at 10 years ago. You couldn't watch YouTube at work.
No.
You couldn't listen to music at work
No.
because you didn't have service.
Mhm.
You either didn't have service or you didn't have enough bandwidth or you didn't have enough minutes.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
you didn't have free internet on your phone.
Your data package.
Yeah. Like now, like I'm working from home some days or even in my office and I could have headphones in and just watching a podcast all day, switch to the next podcast. You're able to consume so much where I don't think you're able to absorb. I don't know. Maybe we are able to absorb it. I mean, which is insane to think about. Because I remember a lot. Because
This magic mind is making it happen. But speaking of what you said, I saw something on Google where it said that we like to think that as we've started losing the things that made us like what were considered geniuses before, the threshold or the median for our intelligence level is so high now because we consume so much just information that people would have had to spend their entire lives to go and search for this information.
Yep.
Now we have quick access to it now. They were saying like the type of like, and this is like
even email, but you don't have to do email anymore. I could just text you the article.
Or like
I could copy paste it and text it to you, and it's instant.
They were saying like situations where like young kids are going on the internet and they're consuming like sexually explicit material. They're consuming at a rate that like somebody like Genghis Khan would have been able to consume this back in the day because he literally conquered countries and had hundreds of concubines.
Yeah.
Now these young kids are getting to feed this thing that's inside of them now that they would have never ever been able to consume had we not lived in the world that we live in now. It's kind of terrifying to think that we're in a situation where we feel like we're the least educated or least informed about what's going on around us, but really, realistically, we're the most informed.
Now, I have a question about that. That just piqued something.
It made your mind focus.
Yes.
It made it feel like
it was magic.
Yeah, it was magic in my mind. So with that though, you're able to consume so much. All right, could you say that one more time? You were able to consume so much.
Like go ahead.
Like during those time frames, right? You were able to consume that much during Genghis Khan's time. Now during this time,
well, just somebody like Genghis Khan,
yeah,
and that was more along the lines of sexually explicit POR, porn stuff. People get to see different stuff that they would have never been able to see, like weird stuff in these videos. And now the only person that would have probably ever been able to consume that much type of stuff in his time would have been someone like a Genghis Khan.
That was a lifetime.
That was a lifetime of being able. Now someone can go on the internet and in a month can have consumed that much of porn that someone like Genghis Khan would have spent his entire lifetime consuming this information or seeing it.
Yes.
And like someone like Einstein, like the theory of relativity, someone like a fifth grader can go online and understand the theory of relativity right now. It took him his lifetime to cultivate that understanding of the theory of relativity.
I think I was going to explain, like, that's where we are culturally. And it's weird because it's like, those are going to be the things that people are just going to bypass. Those things aren't going to be relevant later on because they're going to be like, oh, well, why would you even watch that on TV? Like those type of shows, like all of those type of shows that they're pushing today, like, let's just say, I mean, what was that one? The 16 and pregnant, all those things. Like so many people are able to consume all of that. They enjoy that dull brain, like that. I feel like it causes like a dull brain. I don't know if that makes sense, right? Like
I call it mush brain.
Mush, yeah, okay. Because usually you could be very sharp. You could be very quick-witted. You could be all these things, but I feel like there's certain things that are going to cause you to be like just moving along with the flow of everybody else. And I don't want to. And here's the thing too,
like kind of slowing you down, like
yeah. And it's almost like I feel like when people are like, "Oh, they're sheep. They're sheeple." What's very interesting though is the shepherd herds the sheep. He's the sheep herder, shepherd. And it's like, those are the ones that are, it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I get like a weird feeling with that sometimes. Like,
Now you're going into some spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
Where
'Cause
you're
it's
supposed
like,
to be the good shepherd.
yes, and I feel like there's some people that are going to be the sheep,
Mm-hmm.
and you might need sheep in your life because not everybody's going to be a shepherd, and not everybody's going to be a sheepdog. Not everybody's going to be the lion or the wolf trying to attack that sheep.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of bashing people or telling them that they're dumb or telling people, it's like, you know what? Let them live their life that way. If they want to red pill themselves, if they want to start learning what you're talking about, or if they want to, oh no, looks like your camera was unplugged. Dagnabbit.
Everything's so plugged up to me.
Man.
I mean, it's still catching the audio. I'm not too worried.
Okay.
Get the demons. Yeah.
Unless this cord.
It's fried.
Dang it. I mean, it can hear me. You can hear me. Start cam. Oh, not that one.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's still recording though.
Merch, y'all. We now selling merch. Yes. Yeah, merch, y'all. We now selling merch. Get your merch today.
I'm ready to blow the safe.
Stickers and what else? T-shirts and okay. Mugs and cups and that's right. We now selling merch.
Stop the record.
Now back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Well, at least we got that like other angle.
Yeah. No, we're back. Sorry. It just went away for a second. I was like listening. I'm like, oh, I don't want to be a mush for brain. And then I go, what did I forget to do? Did I unplug something? So I think that there's going to definitely be people that in our lives that we're going to be like, you know what? They're definitely not. They're the sheep, you know? And I feel like I'm at the point now where if I'm a sheep, then I'm a sheep. But if I'm a shepherd, I'm a shepherd. Mm-hmm. And it's like, if I could bring people towards whichever direction that they need to be or they want to go, I'll help pull them into that direction. But I'm not going to force somebody and say, hey, you need to become a shepherd now. Mm-hmm. You know, there's plenty of wolves out there. There's plenty of lions out there. There's plenty of predators out there. But, I mean, I'm cool with leading the charge or leading the way. Or who knows, maybe I'm the sheep following the other people that are shepherding us on these websites or on these podcasts.
Not all sheep are dumb. Some sheep are protecting other sheep along with the shepherd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just like the ones that, walk right up to the wolf are the ones you got to worry about.
Yeah. You know what I just heard too? I'm going to try to find it real fast. I think, no, don't do that. 'Cause I'll forget my train of thought.
Then you need another measurement. Silence that hurt.
No, we
No.
that's man.
It was a guy. He said, I mean, I remember it. I know exactly what I'm thinking of.
Too many chiefs, not enough Indians?
Yep.
Oh,
That's a reality of things, though. But at the same time,
Oh.
all men are.
I found it.
all
Can I
men
show you?
has to be shepherds.
Of every animal that the Bible could liken the Christian to, he chose a sheep. What is the offense and defense mechanism of a sheep? Pause, don't answer yet. Because jaguars, for example, have jaws. Even skunk, they have stink. So what is the defense and offense mechanism of the sheep? You say shepherd, right? And you're wrong. It's more like a riddle. What does a sheep have? The cry, the voice. Help me! Help me! I can't defend myself. That is your offense and defense mechanism. Someone say, watch and pray. It is because that is all you have. This is the only way the shepherd will know the location of the lost sheep. If he cries out, help me, I can't help myself, help me. That is why when you fall into sin, the first thing the devil takes away from you is your power to pray. You can't pray. Because you know if you pray, it's over. The shepherd comes running 1,000 times and 1,000 times over again. He is not tired of running towards you. If only you will cry out, help me. My family is choking me. Help me. This sin is choking me. Help me. My career is not going the way it ought to go. Help me. I can't help myself. I am constantly failing. Help me. This is your offense and defense mechanism. Of every animal that the Bible could liken the Christian to, we chose.
So,
Yeah, man, I felt the vibration on that. I felt
I got
like Goosey for real.
so that's what I'm saying. Like, just because people aren't going to, they don't have to follow us, but just because they're not following the lead or they're not waking up to certain things, like that's fine. Be the sheep. Be the person that yells for help. You know, I'm not that person that's gonna help anybody. I mean, but I mean, like,
you can rephrase that 'cause that sounds so.
well, no. I mean, like, I'll help people the best of my ability that I can.
Yeah,
But I can't get everybody out of their situation. And that means blue pill, that means red pill, that means purple pill, that means black pill, that means white pill, that means any type of pill that you're blue and yellow, purple pills. I can't help you unless you yell for help, kind of
I
thing.
mean, Christ couldn't help everyone. He even said that those who are meant to hear me are going to hear me. Those who aren't, they can continue in their ignorance.
Yeah. So we just went to church.
Oh, yeah, we did. I love what he said, but the sad part to what he said
Is you couldn't understand it very well?
no,
Oh.
is that we live in a society where instead of helping people, we mock people. So there are people that are the sheep crying out for help, but we mock them. It was like, oh yeah, he was like, oh, I like lost my job and I need help finding a job or a loan until I get on my feet. And he's like, well, look at this broke dude just begging and asking. But like, people go through hard times. Sometimes they do need, whether it's a financial, an emotional, a physical, like stability to help them get to the next step. But like, we live in a society where we mock people for their failures and their downfalls, or we mock them for not being where we think they should be by a certain age.
Yeah.
But it's sad because like what he's saying is true. Like even as people, like a defense mechanism is asking for help. But like even like one of the biggest things now, especially this time of year, depression. You know, people get down in the dumps, like you said, they lose their voice. That's when Satan takes over. But you have so many people that make fun of people for being depressed or because they're like, oh, he's just needy. But like people have trauma that they went through, and the holiday season may trigger that. Maybe they're off in school and they don't have the finances to come visit their family, and that puts them in a different mental state. And instead of like helping that person or encouraging them and bringing them into your fold, we mock and make fun of those people. So the sad thing is, what he's saying is true. We live in a society that we only help people when it makes us look good.
That's powerful.
Instead of helping people when they need the help.
Yeah.
And then, like, when you see somebody that just drug themselves up and they go, well, why didn't you never tell me you were struggling? Like, well, because I tell the people that I feel wouldn't hold it against me. Because I've helped people, and then it was like, well, you remember that time I helped you do such and such? Man, that's and I was like, well, if you felt that way, you shouldn't have. I'd rather been broke than every 5 minutes you're holding like, well, remember when I let you that $50? Because, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
My bad. But I feel like that sometimes.
Yeah.
I've seen people do it to other people. Well, you know, he was homeless, and I let him stay with me. Like, you could have kept that to yourself. You know, he shared something personal with you, came to you because he thought you were a close friend for help.
Yeah.
And instead of just helping him and moving on, you want to like lure that you were such a helpful friend. But if you're helpful with what's the word I'm looking for? If you're helpful with bias, they'll be helpful. I hate to say that, but like, it's like we've helped each other out, and it's like just because like we're cool, but like there's other people out there that will lord the fact that they helped you over your head. Mention it to anybody that will listen because it makes them feel better about themselves.
Like that guy crapped himself at my house the other day. I let him borrow underwear just to get home. Like, thanks, bro. Like I ate some cheese. I'm not normally eating cheese.
Yes.
I feel like this is hidden.
No.
Right there.
I gave you a towel. No, I'm just kidding.
That's why I look at people confused when they go, oh, they wanted to show all his good deeds now that he's dead. Why didn't he say that when he was alive? Well, maybe because it wasn't about him, it was about the people he helped. Because there's a lot of celebrities that died. And after we died, it's like, oh, he gave to the cancer fund, he gave to breast cancer, he donated clothes to the homeless. And they go, well, we never knew about that. They were only saying this to make him look good. But no, he did it for those people. He didn't need to publicize. He didn't need cameras there watching him while he did it. He just did it and let those people have a hand up in life. So, like, if you want to talk about my exploits after I'm gone, but if I'm doing them while I'm here, it's because I genuinely want to help people. So I don't need to brag about how often I help people. I just need to.
Like, why do we feel the need to have to impress other people so badly? And it's not just like, it's all of us. Every single one of us has this subconscious desire to want to impress people, whether minuscule or otherwise. I think I still want these people to see me in this light, or I still want to be this way with these people. Because, like, you may not even like a person, and you catch yourself doing stuff that you otherwise wouldn't do just because you want to try to be cool with the person that may not like you or mess with you.
Yeah, I could. Okay, I see what you went that way. I was thinking you mean like you're doing something for somebody even though you don't like them. But I thought you meant like something positive. But you're saying like just to stay in their good graces.
Yeah. So like, let's just say like always when I was growing up, I always heard like you don't got to worry about keeping up with the Joneses. You know what I'm saying? Think about how many people live their lives trying to keep up with the Joneses in a
like flaunt money and stuff.
Like, oh, you just got this. Oh, my neighbor got a Cadillac. Oh, now it's time I got to get a Beamer. I got to get a Benz. I got to do something to try to want to feel good about. Because I'm driving a Honda right now next to a guy who's driving a brand new Cadillac. That's uncomfortable. I got to figure this out. And then you start putting yourself in this frame of reference where you start driving yourself crazy to try to meet the expectations of these people that may not even care about you.
You ever felt like you got bullied into getting something because yours wasn't good enough?
Man,
that
happens.
I had that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm an anomaly because I've always been like stand out against the crowd guy.
Yeah.
And so if I like it, if I'm comfortable with it, I don't care.
Right.
Like there are times I have done that. Like people have gotten stuff was like, oh, I need to get one. But I'm so like I'll give a good example. Last year around this time, TVs are on sale. Everybody I know has like Roku TVs and Samsung TVs. I'm like, I'm going to be special. I'm going to get a Zemo. Nobody has a Zemo, and I'm going to be different. And then I'm an Android guy. Well, Zemo, when you connect to the TV, you need Apple.
Oh.
And so now you have to spy different lines to connect your phone and do other stuff. And so I laugh at that because like sometimes it's okay to go with the crowd or keep up, but other times it's better to go the opposite way because they say like, I just had a quote in my head and I lost it that fast. Sometimes the best road is the one least traveled.
Yes.
Robert
Frost. The road less traveled.
Ooh, see, he even knows the people in the quote. I can't even read.
Hey man, I used to be a heavy reader. I haven't read in about 2-3 years.
But to what you said, sometimes it's better that way. Like you don't always want to be sheep. So we want to go our own route. Sometimes that can backfire.
I think the only thing with that though, for me, in my humble opinion, ignorance of opinion, is that I think at a certain point, a sheep's voice can only register to a certain point, and at some point you have to realize that if you know things that could help other people, it's your task and your duty to try to do that. Every one of us, fear is something that takes a hold of all of us. Our duty is to feel the fear and do it anyway. Okay, like it's important that we, regardless of whatever that situation is, we can be the sheep, like you said, and the shepherd at the same time. You could be a sheep in these situations, but then the shepherd in this situations. Like you can give the information, or it's our task to give the information, but what people do with it is up to them. And if they roll with it, they roll with it. If they don't, it's okay.
Where like you were talking about how like sometimes friends will be like hold something over you, and it's like that's where it's almost like, wait, this whole time I thought you were just a sheep in the flock with me, but you were wolves in sheep's clothing. You know, like I was doing all that, like I was telling you this stuff thinking that you were gonna have my back. You know, like we were all in this together, but instead you're like pulling me from the flock, trying to get me further away from them. And then now I'm yelling even louder for help, waiting even longer for my backup to get here. You know, kind of thing. Good analogy? I still hear.
I want to steal your analogy and change it. We always
You're like, I'll raise you 10. I'm like, oh, dang it.
I am going to because we always say sheep in wolf clothing because like someone is pretending to be a sheep to do something detrimental to us.
No, not a wolf, not a sheep and wolf's
I mean,
clothing.
a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think it's actually a leech in sheep's clothing. Because some people like to keep you away from other people because they like to use you. So like I benefit because he has money. I benefit because he has a car. He has all the things that I want. So I'm going to hang around him and I'm going to make sure no one else can, be too close to him. So when I need money, I can go to him. When I need a ride, I can go to him. When I need an extra set of new clothes, I can go to him because I know he'll give it to me because he has it. But then I see him getting too close to him and I'm like, hey, man, he's been talking about you. He's been saying, because.
Where you don't know, they might need a handout too. Not a handout, but maybe they need help. So you're trying to help them as well. Yeah.
So if I let him get too close to you, what am I going to do? So now I got to move your, he said you smell funny. He said your toes were tripping.
I kicked the brick by accident, I told you.
I got to cause strife so I can continue to reach out to him because I see that you're a good person. I see that you're out here trying to help people, but I want your focus to be on me. And if I see that you're out here helping too many other people, how are you going to help me when I need $50 if you're giving him $50? No, I can't have that.
That's super, what do we call it? Psychotic?
Yes.
Like you have to have a different type of mindset to be a person that doesn't want all people to advance. I mean, I get it though, because we're all different people. We're all individuals.
Or you're like, hey, can I get a ride? Oh, sorry, I'm giving this guy a ride. You're like, he's going a different direction. You're like, oh, shit. Like, crap, now what am I going to do? Like, I usually hit him up last minute because I usually don't plan very well. And somebody already asked him for a ride. Hey, man, you care if I borrow $10?
He can't ask you for a ride no more.
Yeah.
And sadly, like when you sit back, because like I'm a talkative person when I'm comfortable with people, but when I'm in areas with people like I'm new to, you start watching people, you're like,
you're like, I'm just observing.
It's like that fly on the wall thing. It's a very true statement because you get to hear some of the things people say. You're like, I mean, sometimes people say stuff because they're just
venting or decompressing.
Because, we need to decompress. We need to let things loose. But there are other people. No, there's no venting. You can see their focus is to cause an issue. Some people actually, in my opinion, for lack of a better word, get off on that. They don't even have any benefit from causing strife outside of it brings them entertainment. They have that filter. I just want to watch.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was like, I felt something coming. I just didn't know which direction it was going.
Like you said the Joker?
Yeah, I just want to watch the world burn. Because there are people like that. They're like, oh, this is a happy situation. You know what? I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in here and watch the chaos. Just because they have, in my opinion, they have nothing going for them but causing chaos.
When I was growing up, my mom always told me, and it's like a quote from Maya Angelou. She said, "Believe people when they show you who they are the first time. Don't give them a second opportunity to prove you wrong or prove you right." Okay. So essentially, what she would always say is, I'd be in groups of people when I was a kid because I always wanted to be friends with everybody because I moved a lot as a kid. I wanted to, I really couldn't maintain friends. So everywhere I went, I had to do what I had to do to be friends with people. So I remember explicitly being like, why do my friends talk bad about other people when they're around me when they pretend like they're their friends? And to me, it's like that goes back to what my mom always said. Like, and again, another thing she said is when people talk bad about other people to you, better believe that when you leave the room, they're talking bad about you. And it's like something you have to come to terms with. Like, be careful with what you say to people or how you go about approaching people with things, because not everything you say to those people is truly private or kept in confidence. And a lot of things can be out there spread amongst people behind your back. And then people know things that you didn't really want them to know. Yeah. And it's like, oh, wow, this is super uncomfortable now, but now I know who you are, Yeah.
I will say that's one of the problems with sometimes being a confidant. Because sometimes somebody comes to you with personal information that you shouldn't share, but you want to help them. So you go and share it with somebody else. It's like, hey, what would you do in this situation? You might accidentally say a real name. And then now it gets back to them that you were talking about them. But it was like, I wasn't trying to talk about you that way. like, I was just trying to find somebody that could help me help you. So like, it's just one of those like the double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Like sometimes like trying to be too helpful can cause you to be a bad person because like sometimes somebody just needs you to listen. So they don't need you to find a solution, but you're so focused on fixing things that now you're out here spreading business that you should have never spread in the first place. And that's right.
Dude, I've had to learn that the hard way. Like sometimes when people come to you, they only want you to like shut up and listen.
Yeah, or just that sucks.
Yeah.
Like don't try to find a solution for me. Just be like, oh, that's a bummer. I don't know what to tell you. But then other people will be like, tell you all this stuff, and you're like, dude, don't trauma dump on me. Like I'm not your therapist. You're venting to me, and you're making me. No. I don't mind you. But other people, like all the time, you're just like, dude, I can't hear this anymore. Like I need to go home and take a nap. Oh, you're exhausted? Why are you exhausted? Because you did this to me all day.
But I think that's why we've been friends for so long. We've been able to like equally, I don't want to say trauma, but share with each other without exhausting each other. And like we found a balance in it. Where other people, it's all me. And he's like, well, if all I'm doing is listening to him, who's going to listen to me?
Yeah.
But
like it's a shared conversation or back and forth. There's a little difference. Or you're venting, I'm venting, we're both venting at the same time. We throw him in, we're all venting, and we're like, I feel so much better.
Exactly. But when you get that one sided, every time you're like, wait, hold on, but you didn't understand. I'm like, I do understand.
Yeah.
And I was trying to show I understand with my story. But because you're only worried about you, now this is just one of them, like you said, I need to go take a nap, sleep off this bad juju.
I need some magic.
Yes.
I'm getting my mind right.
Yeah.
But I will say, I wish I had this in my like early teens. There were times where I was, whether it was a family event, a friend event, and I'm like, we're going where? And I'm like, those are times like I wish I like beer, or I wish my heart was doing other things because I needed some focus.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be at this place. I know, like, but then I always just like. I gotta say this because it always kills me when people go, oh, this new generation is like technology is fooling them. They don't even like talk and look at each other and this and that. They're partially right. But I grew up where if I didn't like where I was, I found a quiet spot in that place. And I didn't talk or look at anybody. I didn't have a phone or anything else.
Yeah.
Like,
You would bring a book everywhere.
Yeah. So what's the difference between bringing a book and the guy bringing a book?
No, but at least you weren't in the corner just like the whole time by yourself.
Yeah.
That would be like, he's got a mental issue.
Yes, but so to the people that go, oh, this young generation doesn't know how to talk to people, they just get on their phones. Well, you got a guy like me where phones were relatively new as we were growing up.
Yeah.
So like I said, I had a book in the corner. Like, I don't care about them people. So I'm over here reading about the dragons, reading about the spy trying to kill the resident. Right? In my own little world.
Yep.
So what's the difference for me being in the corner with a book and somebody from this new generation being in the corner with their phone? Like, just because I'm with family doesn't mean I get along with family. Just because I'm with friends doesn't mean I get along with all of those friends.
Yeah.
So like, it's okay to have a distraction when you're in uncomfortable situations, but when, and this is one of the real divides I think that's happening on top of classism, racism, politics, is
You forgot sexism.
sexism.
I'm just kidding.
Bro, that's what falls into, because the big thing is like not ageism, but the age gap.
Yeah.
So we always, well, my generation, your generation. But here's the thing, like, you grew up in a way that you said, I'm going to make it so my kids don't have to go through what I went through. And then now that your kids are adults, you're like, oh, these kids are soft. Well, wasn't that your goal?
Yeah.
To a certain extent. I think that there was people that were like, became helicopter parents. They were scared of seeing their kid fall. They were scared of seeing their kid get hurt. They were there to catch their kid every time they fell.
Yeah.
That's not making their kid have a better life than them. That's making their kid soft. Where they need to fail. They need to know that it's okay to fail. We'll help you up.
Yeah.
Do what you can. Have fun. Do what you need to do. Fall a few times. We'll help you up. But get up on your own a couple times too. I'm not going to keep lifting. I'm not going to catch you every time you fall. But I'm also not going to let you stay on the ground the whole time if you're hurting.
Yes.
You know, so like, I think that's where there's a little bit of a disconnect where like some kids think like, oh, my parents are going to just catch me. So they'll try. Yeah, and they'll fail all the time, but their parents keep catching them before they hit they skin their knee, where they need to skin their knee, bump their elbow, maybe even hit their head up a few more times, before they start to be like, hey, I don't know. Analogies by code.
Again, that's understandable.
Yeah, because we grew up in the 90s. Like, we were born in the 80s, but we mostly grew up in the 90s, early 2000s and stuff like that. And it was like, we got to play outside.
Yeah.
We got to have those friends outside. And then it was like, like the 80s, that was like the whole scare where like the parents, the kids were going missing. So they started like scaring the parents. And I think that's what happens. They scare the parents first, and then they make the parents paranoid. And then that's what slowly changes everything. Like, oh, well, I don't want my kids to get polio. You're like, what the heck? That shit's been eradicated since the 50s. Like, what are you talking about? Like, why are you giving them this, and this, or whatever the case, And then, like, there's other things, too. It's like, well, I want them to eat healthy, and I don't want them to eat this, or I don't want them to eat that. And it's like, well, let them try it. If they don't like it, they don't like it. But do what you can, if you're not able to provide those type of things either, like if you're trying to provide for your child and you're gone all day long at work, it's like, I feel like we were pretty lucky with like, you come home from school, your mom was working out of her home.
Yes.
So it was never like you didn't have your mom at home with you. Like, you were always like, you could come home, greet her with a hug or something, or like you were able to like help her when she needed you. Like sometimes kids, it's the other way around. Like the kids come home and they're like, I had such a bad day. I needed this, and this. It's like, I feel like your situation, and I don't know if this is true or not. Like, I'm just assuming, but you would come home and your mom's like, I got all these kids. Do you mind taking the reins a little bit?
Yeah.
So I could chill and watch a show for 20 minutes or 30 minutes of, and kind of get some relaxation, because I've had kids at my house for 23 out of the 24 hours. You're
not wrong. It was like they put some restrictions later. She had to have like a whole, I think, like 3 or 4 hour span where, because she needed time to sleep to do this or that. But when she first started, it was 24/8.
So you kind of had the opposite of like a helicopter parent.
Yeah.
You were parented when you were home, but then when you weren't at home, you also were like, I'm afraid to.
I was parented even outside of home.
Okay.
Because like you met my mom, you see how like outgoing she is.
Yeah.
So I'd be places with my nefarious friends, the ones that up to no good.
Yeah.
Trying the herbal remedies before they were legal.
Yeah.
And like I'd be out with them, and somebody goes, "Hey, aren't you missing such and such a son?" And I'm like,
"Nope."
No, I gotta go. They see me here with you, and then she goes, "Well, what were you guys doing?" I either gotta lie to her or tell one of you. I'm letting you know.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Like the first time.
You're like, snitches get stitches from you guys, but I'll get the shit kicked out of me by my mom, and I ain't trying to do that for lying.
But like, my first apartment, I got it when I was like 19. And I had some friends over, and I don't remember who got us alcohol. We had alcohol. We shouldn't have.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, we allegedly had drinks. We should have had Magic Mind.
Oh, yeah.
But instead, we had almost had Magic Mind.
That's a different bottle.
That's again.
Yeah. A different type of word.
Well, yeah. Sorry. I remember, like, sometimes my mom, like, just to see how I was doing, she would like come over to my house, and like her and my brothers and sisters would spend the weekend in my house before going back home. And I remember my baby brother, like, had left some clothes or something there, and his dad was getting them, and so he had to come to my house to get the stuff that was left. And he saw me and my friends, and like when he had walked up, the door was open, and he saw me and my friends, and we were drinking and that, and it was funny because like, the next day, I was telling my mom all about the event because me and my mom were very open with each other. I was like, "Yeah, my friend's over. We had this little party and that." He didn't see my mom until he brought my brother back. And he was like, "You think your son's good at two shoes? I saw him drinking, and his friends were smoking in his house and this and that." And she goes, "Yeah." And then he looked like,
it's his house.
Yeah. Well, that, and she goes, "He told me."
Yeah.
And like most people aren't open with their parents like that. First time I ever had alcohol, my mom did. First time I was ever drunk, my mom did. I was like, "Hey, we tried beer." And she's like, "What?" And like, I I think it's probably third, but like I always felt that comfortable.
Yeah.
But I just laugh at that because like I think the how you say helicopter parents.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like the people that don't know how to be open and be a parent
Yeah.
are the ones that become helicopter parents. Because now they gotta be protective.
Yeah.
But like if you can show your child, I can let go of the leash, let you run in the yard, as long as you know when to come back to the porch.
Yeah, when the lights
you know
turn back
when to
on.
sheep and call out for help.
Yeah.
But some people, they want to be that quiet sheep trying to figure it out on their own.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they get in trouble. And some people want to be the shepherd with the hook, always knocking the sheep where it goes, and then the sheep is going to just run somewhere else to get away from the hook.
Mm-hmm. Very
That's
good.
all that I have to say. That. It's very long.
Yeah. No, you're good. I was gonna tell you something else too. So like the helicopter parent portion of it, but then there's a difference with like the parents being the friends. There's so many parents that are like trying to be their kid's friend, where it's like, I love your parents, but like you had a good relationship with your mom that way.
Yeah.
But you never would be like, oh yeah, my mom's my friend. You're like, my mom's my mom.
Yes.
Like you were friendly with your mom,
Yeah.
but you would never be like, yeah, she's my friend. You're like, no, she's my mom. Your mom level, I think, is way higher than a friend. Yeah.
Your mom,
Does that make sense?
Your mom can still be your friend or your best friend, but she's your mom first.
Yes.
Yes.
Where
That's
some-
what I was gonna say.
yeah.
My mom was my best friend, but she was my
Yeah.
mom first.
Where I feel like some of these kids nowadays, their parents are their friend first and not
Yeah,
their
that's
parent.
a no-no.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but like with me and Little Kaboom, I think that's why I have all the issues with him.
Yeah.
Because like I'm his brother and his friend first, but he doesn't see me as that parental figure.
Are you really his friend? No, I'm kidding.
Not all the time. Not all the time.
I'm
It's
just
a
joking.
strenuous relationship.
Yeah.
It's like that friend that I'm glad that we only see once a year.
Yeah.
You're not just friends.
It's
Like,
your McLovin.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're like, he always asks me for a ride. No. That's the only time. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Where's the key for the house? You're like, when were you here last? Where's your other key? No, sorry.
I won't tell them where that is. When we lost too.
Yep.
What happens when I need it? And I know that sounds selfish, but there have been times where he's had a spare key and I come home and I'm like,
You're like, I'm walking to my other brother's house
Yeah.
because he loves me. No, I'm just
yeah.
kidding.
And
He has a key.
he has a key, or his wife is someone who's like, hey, can I sit here until time?
Yeah, that's funny.
I can't get in my house.
That's too funny.
Yeah, I literally had that happen because like he was so irresponsible. Like in the last 10 years, he's probably had a key every other year.
Jeez.
But it gets messed up, and then sometimes like because one time he lost it this time of year, but there was snow everywhere, and then March, April came, the snow melted. He went to the bus stop. He goes, "Hey, look what I found." And I was like, "Yeah, get that one to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this up somewhere." Like,
Jeez.
keys are expensive.
And then, do you guys have anything else you have to say or want to say, or do you want to go into the next segment?
No, I was gonna say, because based off what we were talking about, we went into all these different stuff. And I'm starting to think to myself, do you think we experience a lot of the issues that we experience because, for one, people don't tell the truth anymore, or complete the truth, and people also can't take the truth.
Mm.
Yes.
I think that is like one of the biggest issues of the world that I think all of us have an issue where it's like you kind of struggle to tell somebody the truth because you're like, I don't know, and then also you're worried about how they'll receive that truth and how their reaction could be from it, you know?
Mhm.
So you're it's like you said, a double-edged sword. So now you're terrified because you
Or
want to
it's a
tell.
padded room. You're like,
Yeah.
here you go. I don't want to hurt you, so just go in there.
Tell me the truth. You won't get in trouble.
I'll tell you the truth, but it's like you're only going in this room. That's the truth. You're like, and the rest of the truth is down the hallway, but there's glass in the floor.
But it's like,
I was gonna say, I completely agree with that.
but it's like, for me, it's like, do you think that it's important when you're seeking to help people to just tell them the truth? Regardless of whether it could be something that is a double-edged sword that could cut you and also cut them, but at least it's the truth that needed to be said and needed to be heard.
I feel like there's. Do you want to go with that one?
Honestly, that's the case by case basis.
Yeah.
You have to know the person you're telling the truth to.
Yeah.
Because, you know, some people, depending on how they were brought up, depending on how, like, they've developed themselves, can handle the truth better than others. So some people, you can be bluntly honest with. And other people, you do have to do a little sugarcoat and release the truth to this. Because everybody's reaction to the truth is not always a good reaction.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people have, like, the one word that's going around lately, accountability. Not everybody can take accountability.
Yeah.
So
I thought you were gonna say no cap. I'm like, I still don't know what that means. I'm not wearing hats. No.
I mean, maybe more this time of year because it gets cold today. But accountability though. Some people don't know how to take accountability. So when you make them realize that the situation they're going through is their fault, they have a bad reaction. Now you're the enemy. You were supposed to disagree with me. I want a friend that tells me the truth, but you told me the real truth.
Yeah.
I want the people that'll tell me I have to.
Yeah.
So you got to know your audience.
I think if we look at it, see, like, even the people in control, like, let's just say our government, hypothetically, or whatever, let's just say, there's probably truths that they could tell us that are blunt, honest, and real, but they refuse to tell us because of the reaction that we could, like, elicit, or it could elicit.
And I think and that's the part too where it's like they're telling the truth. They're saying we're protecting their herd, where not everybody in the herd needs to be protected.
Exactly.
You know,
How do you determine which?
you don't. They just say everybody's the same. We're not going to tell you because it's too detrimental for the population.
But then the people who are like sheep that are observing, or people who are shepherds or whatever, are like, hold up, you're trying to rack me in with all these people who are unaware. That's not fair because because I'm or take magic money.
Yes. Yes. No, that makes sense.
It's like truth has been like a big resounding thing in the conversation that we've had today, and it's kind of like it seems like the truth is being changed by people who seek to not have the truth be out there. People refuse to tell the truth so that the truth doesn't get out there, so that people don't have to feel it or have to acknowledge it or have to deal with it. And then there's people who don't want to know the truth or refuse to know the truth, or if they knew the truth, it would change who they are.
Yes.
Like truth is this major thing, and it's like, when do we reach a time moving forward where truth, that objective tall T that we were talking about, no longer is an objective tall T, and now everybody's little small subjective T is now what's really important? My truth, my perspective, this is my truth. And then that one truth kind of dissipates to the point where there is no real truth anymore.
Agendas disappear. In my opinion, because like not everybody, but a majority of people have an agenda, and sometimes that lets them know how much of the truth to tell or how much of a lie to tell. So when people don't have an agenda about why they're telling you the truth or why they're hiding the truth, then we can all have one common truth. And usually everybody has, again, not everybody, but a majority has their own personal agenda. And so we're always going to have the small truths, not the big truths. Because not everybody is a good person. So
you'd like to believe that people are, though, and people seek to try to be the best that they can be, you know?
Yes. And until like we have a majority good people, and we don't have or we have people that aren't so naive to realize not everybody is a good person, then we're all going to have my truth, his truth, her truth, and not just the truth.
You want to quote that Alistair song? Malachi Black.
What did he say?
No one is truly evil and no one is truly good.
Oh, yeah. His AEW song. Wait, no, or was that just WWE song?
Probably that one.
Yeah,
that's definitely the truth.
You know what's crazy?
What?
People always say there's a difference between like good and evil. There's good people that do evil things and there's evil people that do good things.
Yeah.
I guess I just found this out, but Jesus said there's two types of people. There are prideful and humble. Those are the only two differences. And I was like, ooh, that doesn't say good and that doesn't say bad. So stay humble, my friends. Sounds like a Dos Equis commercial.
I was just thinking that.
I'll edit
But
that.
I can agree
They are
with
not a
that
sponsor.
because there are times I'm in situations where I find myself being the pride.
Dude.
And have found myself humbled, and I'm like, let me just go in this corner and shut up because I thought I knew best and I did not.
It kind of feels good when you get to a point where you get humble because, like, I don't know about like me personally. I've been a person who's been extremely prideful in my life before, and I got humbled to a point where there was no turning back into being that person anymore.
Yes.
And it's like once this has happened to you, and now you realize that you lived a life of pride. Now it's time to start trying to be who you truly are supposed to be.
Yes.
Well, do you want to jump into the trivia topic?
Ooh. I kind of wish I found one that was more relatable to what we were talking about.
Thanksgiving? No, I'm just kidding.
But this, in the conspiracy theory trivia game, the truth is out there because the topic is aliens. So, yeah, I kind of found a way to make it relatable, but I wish there was a question that went better with our topic.
Yeah.
Are my contestants ready? Code, are you prepared?
Yes, sir.
Swank, are you ready?
Indeed.
Again, the topic is aliens, X-Files, Tony and Molly. And the question is, what is the code name for the secret fleet of spacecrafts protecting the Earth from an alien invasion? A, Solar Warden. B, the International Space Shield, ISS. C, the Global Wall. D, E.T. Go Home.
The second one.
Yeah, I think B.
I'm sorry, sir, but it
Is it the shield?
Solar Warden.
What?
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Jeez.
See, there's my pride.
Anyone
Thinking I knew better.
Even though I knew the answer, my mind was going to see the global wall because when we talk about flat Earth, you're always bringing up the firmament. And so I was like, oh,
The ice wall. The ice wall.
The ice wall. Global wall, ice wall.
Yeah.
So my mind was like, oh, that's it. And then I looked and I was like, oh, that's not the answer.
No. And then do you have a thought for the day at all? Do you have any that are like, that we can give thanks with? Or we could be thankful for?
Ooh, I actually do have one that I have recently released.
I feel like you need a segment. Do you want a segment?
We'll have to think about it moving forward.
Yeah. You do all the editing and everything else.
Ooh, this one, I got two. One about being thankful and then one about being humble.
Ooh, maybe do both.
Okay, we'll do a twofer for today.
Twofer.
For those that like the thoughts of intelligence that help guide your lives. The first one is simple. Life has a simple formula. Look back and thank God. Look ahead and trust God.
Loved it. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
That was very beautiful.
And then the second, thought for the duration of the 24 hours. A mistake that makes you humble is better than an achievement that makes you arrogant.
Nice.
Hey, bring that one back around. Bring that one back around. Bring it back
But
around.
as I said, I looked and I was like, oh, both of these, he wanted thankful. And then this touched on what you were just talking about. I was like, oh, how do I choose?
Yeah.
How do I choose? This one.
So it's impossible to be angry, mad, sad, or anxious and be grateful and thankful at the same time. So anytime you get mad at somebody, just think of 3 things that you're grateful for them or thankful that you know them or things. And then that anxiety goes away, the sadness, being mad at somebody, being angry, whatever. Those are just feelings. And that's the other thing about the truth portion of it. A lot of people take their feelings and they think that that's their truth, or they think that that's the truth. But their feelings, their opinions, just like diapers, they change.
Yes, absolutely.
Or need to be changed.
Absolutely.
Need to be changed.
I mean, kids, I just got dogs that pee all over my house. No. Well, yeah, her tail,
I thought they had a hole for the tail.
it does, but her tail just sticks straight up and stuff just shoots right out. No, I'm just kidding. You got anything else you want to pass on? TBD?
Wait, repeat what you were saying about, it was something about the feelings.
The feelings?
The feelings
Your feelings?
and the truth.
Okay, so people's feelings and their emotions are in like opinions.
Yeah.
they can change.
Mhm.
But they'll claim that things are the truth based off of their feelings or their opinions. But they're not. Those can change as well. Does that make sense?
It does.
You
but
just
it's still-
listen to the podcast again.
Well, I was trying to jar the thought I had back. but I
Oh,
couldn't repeat it,
I'm sorry.
And then the thought still gone.
I know, that's what happens.
Somebody hit the compactor button and just yeah.
You want another one? All right. Swank, you got anything you want to pass or say?
Man, this Magic Mind has got me being extremely introspective, this conversation. I'm telling you, I took things from everything everybody said today.
We were so calm and mellow
Man,
the
it
whole
was,
time. Nobody got loud.
Man.
I feel like there was a point in the podcast where everybody is like monotone and we're just all the same level.
Man.
Yeah, because usually we do get passionate and go out there. Yeah.
Boy,
So we did mellow out, and so maybe we need to take one of these before each podcast.
I know I do.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for Yes, you do.
No, I mean me as
No,
well.
it's
Myself
real.
as well.
Real. Hey.
Yeah. But you got anything? You got any thoughts? You got any projects you're working on that you're gonna be releasing
I'm
soon?
working on some stuff. I just I think it's I don't know. I think it's about like reflecting on things that I have released and kind of reflecting on myself and kind of making sure that moving forward I'm not I don't know. I don't want to misrepresent anything moving forward, and I kind of think that's where I'm going in terms of like my music stuff.
For
You
sure.
know, I think it's important to kind of also be cool with be cool with like not worrying about other people's opinions about stuff. You know,
Mhm.
I think one thing that was driving me in my quest to want to do a lot of different stuff was kind of to see the reactions of people. And then when people don't respond the way that you hope that they do, or you get responses from other people that aren't the people you want those responses from, then you're kind of like, eh. So for me, it's that's where I'm at. I guess I think I don't know. I miss Chente. I think
Yeah.
that sucks. but
Yeah.
I definitely hope he's having a great evening this evening with his family and everything. And that's all I got to say, I guess.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
You got anything you want to finish off? Last words for the fans. Last fans for the Morse codes.
Last fans for the Morse codes. Do we
Morse.
have a name for
Beep,
our
beep, beep,
people?
beep, 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 beep,
Our-
beep, beep.
Our growing following. Do we have a name for them?
Chente called him
The Cody Crybabies.
Cody's.
Oh, then he called them the Cody Crybabies. I was like, we can't take that
We're
from
in
Cody,
the Cody
bro.
cave,
Yeah.
and it's out to the Codys.
Okay, I get behind that. And we can call them the Cody Crybabies, because what is he gonna do? Come here and fight me? Well,
Cry
while
about
he's
it?
Here, I'll just go visit his wife
Oh.
and put it on my OnlyFans. I don't care, Cody.
I'll have to blur
I
that
like
out.
your dad more than you anyway.
Jeez.
What'd you say?
I like your dad more than you.
Oh, I thought you said we didn't even like your dad anyway. I was like, oh.
Damn, I'm
Whoa! I will
That's
never
tough.
disrespect the American dream, Dustin Rose. Because we are going through hard times, baby. Hard times. When you up there eating steak and we down here eating the pork and beans, that's hard times, baby. You got holes in the shoes while you getting your shine, that's hard times, baby. Oh, okay,
Rick Flair. You know what it is, Rick Flair. I'm talking to you.
Cool. Well,
We're turtle weekend.
Yeah.
babies.
oh no. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay blessed. Stay safe. Stay blessed. And keep on questioning.
Yes.
Conspiracy of a Dead Man. Swank. TBD. Theodore Dinamite.
Bean
Chente, the homie. Our tribal Chente. We acknowledge you. We miss you. We'll see.
Wait, do we have a divide though? He's our tribal Chinte, but then he looks like the OTC.
No, he looks like Jacob. I'm just kidding.
What's the OTC? So
Yeah. We're good. We're
I
good.
don't know.
We're our own. We're our own.
we're our own-
I wonder if somebody just
so
knocked
we,
at the
we
door.
don't, we don't have to have two bloodlines?
No.
just one.
Just one random
It stays
one.
one solid bloodline.
I was just going to sit in the corner and see, let the winner adopt me because I didn't want to be in that fight.
Oh boy.
I'm like Rakishi. Oh, y'all deal with that.
Yeah.
Just make sure somebody shows me Thanksgiving.
All right, guys. Well, you listen to the podcast. We're done. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Keep on questioning. We out.
Deuces.
Deuce.
Ba, 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 ba.
When did you guys record that? I clipped it from a podcast that we did.
Yeah, because there were different times where they did the sounds.
Yeah.
Because he got like me and Chinte these like little boxes, and it
No,
had,
that's not what that was from.
well, I was saying, and we were trying to use the sounds, but like I think mine kept not working, and then we were just doing sounds on our own, and Chinte always does that, and then like, because like those are clipped from the podcast episodes, right? Yeah, and I still have my box, but I never like use it. Well, lately I've been in person, but like I would like plug it up and it would mess with my audio, and then the sounds wouldn't come through when I would hit the buttons on there. And like I still use the tripod though. Like I'll turn my phone sideways, put it on the tripod when I'm recording from home.